Because I know you guys have done some remodel and then people put their houses on the market.
Yeah.
Seen a huge value when it comes to the resale feature when somebody goes in, and if so, is it the kitchen and bathrooms, or what is it that you guys would tell them to do?
I always tell them to do kitchen and bathroom every time, like master bathroom. Those are the most, and flooring. Those are the most important things.
And a little bit of paint.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of paint, because that gives them the value, and it depends on the house.
From the grit and the grind to successful minds, live from the entertainment capital of the world, your hosts, Jillian Batchelor and Daryl Hannah.
Hey guys, it's Jillian Batchelor.
And Daryl Hannah.
And we are here with Vegas Real Talk. And today on Vegas Real Talk, we have some special guests. We have Lincoln Rogers and Brian Horner, and they are with Kingdom Home Remodel. But these guys are in all kinds of businesses, Daryl, right? I mean, they're in real estate, they're in construction, they're doing flips, they're doing luxury, they're doing high-end, they're doing everything. They personally remodeled my own kitchen.
Yeah,
and
which
they've
is
remodeled,
amazing.
It's amazing,
Love
right? And for
kitchen.
what I spent on that kitchen, which we'll get into, you guys, it looks... It's just adorable. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. And so they do all things. But what I really like is that they're on the cutting edge of all the new trends. They have an interior design group that they're part of. I mean, they do everything for clients. They've done stuff for the Property Brothers. Can we mention that? Are we allowed to say that name?
Yeah,
okay.
totally. Yeah.
Ooh,
so they've remodeled properties for the Property Brothers. They've been on TV.
Well, you know that you are the man when you're doing that work for
When
the
you're doing
property.
TV,
when you're
you guys.
flips for the flip guys, like
Yeah, when you're doing
that's
TV.
amazing.
And because those flip guys aren't really doing it.
Yeah.
These guys are doing it behind the scenes.
It's the real guys.
So we're going to pass it off to them. We want to find out. I know these guys. These guys go to church with me. They're great guys, beautiful families, wives, kids, all the things. And they're just all around good people.
Amazing.
So Lincoln, Brian, tell us a little bit about you guys. Who are you? Tell us about your company. How you got into the business. Give us all the things.
Thank you. I feel like, Jillian, you just described us as...
You don't even have to say anything.
My personality, ADHD, right? We have a lot of... No, yeah, my name is Lincoln Rogers.
Brian Horner, we're both Las Vegas natives. We grew up together and went to the same schools, and we had this.
What school was that? What school was that?
We went to Centennial.
Ooh.
Oh,
Centennial.
Centennial wasn't even around. when I
Oh,
went
three.
there.
They were babies.
So the year that Centennial opened was our freshman year.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So
Yeah.
it was
So we're
brand
like
new for
the
us,
first,
too.
I guess they call it 4-year graduating class.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, okay, how did Kingdom start? Why did you guys start it? Was that your first company, or what was your first company? What can you tell our listeners? They want to know.
Well, yeah, so it's funny. Our stories, we both have different backgrounds. But yeah, the way it started was we were flipping houses.
Okay.
And organically, all of a sudden people started, hey, can we start using your construction crews and whatnot? And Brian,
At the time I was working for the county. I was building commercial buildings like bus terminals and bus yards for the Regional Transportation Commission.
Very cool.
And I was working with Lincoln on some of these flips just to make some extra money.
Yeah,
and I
On the
realized,
side.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, I really love this. And
A lot better than
well, I look
building.
at him I'm like, Brian, why are you working for the RTC? You're so talented, man. Like
Yeah.
I saw it before he knew he was talented, but I could see I knew he was way more advanced than where he was at. I'm like,
and probably a lot more challenging, right? What you're doing now than what you were doing
Oh
before.
yeah, big time.
yeah, I mean, I love what I do, I'll be honest. And that's something me and Lincoln were talking about as we were driving over is like, I think the main reason why we love what we do is seeing the finished product and knowing that, the customer loves it. It's like
And
the fruit of
never-
our labors,
And
we
never
see what
it's
we
a
do.
day that's the same, right?
never
Like
the same.
every day's different.
Every day is seriously different.
And I'm sure you guys
Love
like
it.
when the clients come to you and they want to challenge. They want to do something that maybe you haven't done. Or, I mean, there's probably not much at this point you haven't done, but trends are always changing. So they want to do stuff you haven't done. You're able to challenge your design team, challenge your construction team. And I mean, they have Kingdom Home, like plumbing, they have electrical, they have the full construction company. I mean, they have the design aspect of
And
it, flipping.
you guys sub all that stuff out individually, right? Like if somebody wanted you to do an electric job or a plumbing job, like
Well, we
do you
partner.
do
What's
that?
cool is we partner with different companies, and so we actually do everything in house except for paint, glass, and what else that we don't do? We don't do in house.
We really don't do much stucco exterior.
Yeah, so those are the main things that we don't do. But everything else, because we wanted to control our own timelines and go faster, and have more control of what's going on, we had to start all these little mini companies to make it work.
Yeah,
Bringing
we
everybody
do
in-house.
Home Kingdom Plumbing. As far as electrical, we partner with another company when it comes to that. We do have in-house carpenters because when you're doing like these high-end finishes, it really does come down to the fine details in the carpentry work.
Yeah.
And it's tough to find that in Vegas, I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, and that's the problem with the builders, right? Is they don't have any control, and hence they're taking 16, 18 months to deliver a house, like
Correct.
a production house.
Yes, exactly.
You finished one in 9 months, a full custom, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Brian started from start to finish. He finished his house in 9 months, and we could have done it in 7 months, but we ordered the trusses a little too late.
Gotcha.
So it was frustrating.
A month delay on trusses, and
so you sat around for 2 months, like,
yeah,
dang it.
So we could have done, knowing what we know now, like we could have done it. We can do it in
Wow.
7 to 8 months on a home like Brian's.
So it's nice to have that control.
Yeah,
really is. And it comes down to control. Like on a typical job, not only do you have a project manager that's overseeing the job, but you have superintendents that help with the day-to-day, and then you have your team of, you got skilled plumbers, electricians, carpenters, just grunt guys that are all in this team that are dedicated to this project manager, that are dedicated to these customers and these lot of jobs, and gets them done. So every customer kind of gets that hands-on experience, and they're taken care of from start to finish.
So these guys
can't give you that,
So I got a question for you. So these crews that work for you, rather than you subbing it out.
Correct.
Yep.
And when you sub it out, I'm imagining in the very beginning you had to sub out almost all your stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And how frustrating is that?
Yes.
Which I know.
Yes, very frustrating.
So now that you have control over it, I'm wondering, because we have a team in real estate.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
And so you have a team.
Correct.
Right. Just different type of team.
100%.
You guys have any incentives for any of your guys? Like if they deliver stuff on time?
Or if they're
What's
faster?
interesting is we've done that and it hasn't worked, surprisingly. And so what we've discussed is it comes down to finding the right guys. We've gone through so many, and it's more than money. It's interesting to me that's different from other companies. Is construction's more about respecting your guys. See, we're outside the box
and respecting
thinkers.
their work.
Yeah, so we treat them more like family. Whereas, like when I was a kid, my dad was in construction. He was like hardcore, like you show up on time, you work harder than everybody. In my day, it was like it was tougher. And don't get me wrong, that there is a place for that.
Yeah.
But what we do is we treat them like family.
Gotcha.
We make sure they're taken care of. If they look upset, we'll ask them how it's going. Hey, you don't look right. Let's go out to lunch. We'll take care of them. Hey, is everything okay?
If they're sick, maybe pay them for the day or something.
Yeah, we'll take care of them.
Yeah, you're not.
We're not always calling them with bad news. Hey, how's your family? Like, what's going on?
That's great.
It's not like, why did you do this like this? Come on.
But that's an incentive, really. Then those are perks.
You want a culture where they're excited to come to work. You can say, look what you guys have done, man. The before and afters are incredible. We give them the credit. Doing those type of things is very important to these guys. And sometimes we just recently made a new policy where we'll make sure that we're sending our framers and all these other guys the finished pictures because they never see the finished product.
Yeah.
And for them, they're like, oh, that looks so good. Oh, I see.
Because now they're tied into
Yeah.
it. Now they're like, oh, I did this, I did that. And I'll attest to that. When I reached out to you guys, we actually kind of reached out last minute to see if these guys would come on our show, on our podcast. And what was your response to me, Lincoln? It was basically like, hey, your family, you've done right by us. You've given us a lot of clients. You've referred us a lot of business. We want to do right by you. We'd love to be on the podcast. So I can really attest to that whole family, that culture, that cultivating something that is bigger than just a job. Hey, we're getting a job A to point Z, and we're getting it done.
Yeah.
And that's why I love these guys, but I also just love how amazing some of their work is. So in this podcast, you guys, we're going to give you a link to their Instagram page. We're going to want you guys to go on there, take a look at it, Instagram, Facebook, look at all the stuff that they do. It's super cool. I love the design work. But I want to ask a couple of quick questions, if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely.
Tell me in a quick 1 minute breakdown about your favorite project, the most favorite project you've ever done. Each one of you guys might have a different favorite project. Or is there something that stands out? Is there a project where you're like, this one made a difference to us, or this one was the coolest design, or something we never did before?
Learned a lot of lessons on.
Yeah. No, that's a really good, loaded question. I like that.
Yeah.
Brian, you go first on that one.
Brian, pass the ball.
It's probably our last time on Property Brothers when we did the job for Holly and Corey Steve. I should edit that.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Right,
They wouldn't care.
Anyways, that job was cool. It was a house that was built probably early 90s, and we came in and gutted the entire great space.
What area was it in? Las Vegas?
Northwest. So
Okay.
I would say it's probably 89149 area code.
Yeah.
Zip code. And when we were doing it, it was a complete transformation. She had a fireplace in her kitchen, basically. It was really weird in how we did this home. And I loved it so much that I took so much inspiration out of it that my house kind of actually looks like
has some of the features of it.
That's cool. I like
so
that.
if you're like standing in
it.
what I loved about that house was the architectural sight lines. Everything was just perfectly centered when you're looking in the kitchen, from her pot filler on her range all the way down.
Center of the fireplace.
Her fake beams, everything just spaced perfectly. I was like, when I build my house, this is what I want to do. And I did take a lot of inspiration from that.
Wow, that's
great. It was a cool project. And we did it in, 8 weeks?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
were they filming it with the Property Brothers?
Yeah.
Right?
So,
the hardest part with the Property Brothers is they're saying, hey, we want this entire remodel done in 7 weeks. and then they stop you along the way because they have to film.
Yeah, milestone.
That's what makes it so hard. You
So,
know?
yeah, let me cuff a hand behind your back.
Exactly. We're like, so Brian got yelled at a few times for going too fast. Like,
slow down.
Yeah, they had to make him tear down stuff because he went too quick.
So it was an amazing experience. Both
they're incredible.
Both the brothers are humble, really good guys, and like it's funny. Yesterday was my birthday, and I get a text message last night from Jonathan.
Oh, that's
Happy
great.
birthday!
Yeah, they're good guys.
They're really good people.
Super
But
good
what a
guys.
lot of people don't know about TV shows, and not just Property Brothers, but Daryl and I have done a fair amount of TV ourselves, is that a lot of those things, like as you said, you've had to tear things down and then redo it so they can just film it. And so a lot of times these film crews are not there the whole 7 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, however long the project is. A lot of these film crews are not there the whole time. So as they're going, they'll say, wait, we have to come in on a Tuesday, or we'll come in on Friday. We're going to film that. And you're like, but we're scheduled to do it on Monday. Okay, let me push my timelines back. Or they'll say, oh, we need this done on this day. And you're like, we're going to be way far ahead of that or way far behind that. So it is filmed for TV, for entertainment purposes, but it's not always the reality of how things get done. Or again, we're not speaking specific about that show, but we've been on other shows where it looks as though these stars of the show are actually doing the work. When truthfully, they're coming in, they're swinging that hammer for like 5 minutes.
Or that the
for
flips
TV.
get done in 1 week.
And it's not even true at all. Yeah. So that's kind of cool, the behind the scenes of the TV. It's not what you think it is, you guys. Also, a lot of times those budgets are way bigger than you think that they need to be because things do come up. Clients add
I think that's
things.
my most frustrating part of watching these flipping shows is when they do the breakdown.
Oh, we know.
of the
Yeah,
money.
if you flip before,
I
you
turn it
know
off.
the
I tell my
truth.
wife, turn it off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, $40,000 remodeled the whole house. You're like, the kitchen was $100.
And there's like three. There's like 3 line items before they figure out how much they made, and I'm like, stop.
Yes.
Like,
You know what's interesting? The one thing about Property Brothers, not one thing, but a few things, they were actually real and honest about their budgets
That's
on the
good.
screen. We were like, yeah, that was
great.
the cost. That was the cost. And sometimes, at the end of the day, we've learned that the cool thing with the Property Brothers is that at least they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, because
Jonathan
they've done so
knows
many.
Construction. He's like, so these guys are sharp guys.
He actually has a contractor's license.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like he knows these guys are no dummies.
Because
We've
a lot
seen
of
it in
these
the
TV
background.
shows, they don't have any knowledge of that, and so they're just like, oh yeah, whatever. They're literally like actors. A lot of these shows.
Oh, Brian, we were out of town together on a vacation with our wives, and we were watching. I won't say who it was, but there were certain people who flip in Vegas, and they're sitting there hammering out one of these things. And Brian's like, "What are they doing? There's a vent right there." And he's just like, you can just see things, and I'm laughing because he's like in his mind like, these guys
wanted
are
to jump
idiots.
through the screen.
Yeah, so it's just, but yeah, that was to go to answer your question, Jillian. Mine would be go back to Property Brothers. It was the property that we did. It's kind of in a circle. I don't know what the area would be called. It's off of like Charleston and Rancho area. So it's not Rancho Circle, but
like a vintage Vegas area. That's
vintage
on the
Vegas
historic
And
area.
our clients were amazing. And
let me ask you a question. Was it a single story?
yes.
Was it in a cul-de-sac?
Yes, and it was on the corner.
No, which one are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Ashby.
So I bought a Property Brothers house for one of my clients that was on the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh,
they
yeah,
filmed-
yeah.
do you remember that?
What was the street name?
Do you remember the street name?
He said Ashby. It wasn't Ashby, right? Ours. I know which one you're talking about. It was on.
No,
it was.
Campbell?
It wasn't. They haven't sold.
So
theirs.
so the one he's
tell
talking
you.
about, it was actually on the commercial for like the Ring doorbell or one
it
of
was
those
the Ring
nice.
doorbell.
for the Super Bowl. They had the
very
commercial
cool.
of it, and it was him walking out of the house. It was
tell you
all
what it
white
is right
house
here.
from the outside.
Like, now I'm
so
just gonna drive me
okay, so
crazy.
while he's looking for that,
So
you
yeah,
keep telling us about your story.
what was interesting about it was we were supposed. The way we started with the Property Brothers was interesting. It started off with, hey, can you guys do one remodel for us?
Yep.
We're like, absolutely. They gave us all these forms to fill out, and we didn't even know how. We didn't have half the stuff we probably made up. We're like, I don't know. We could figure it out.
Yeah.
And so we did the first one, and we executed it so well that they came to us again, and then again, and then again. And there's 2 contractors that bailed out on them in the middle of the project.
Yeah.
And so we came in,
But
but
the
the one.
supposed to be 1, and that season we ended up doing 5.
Yeah.
And then we come on to a new show called Property Brother Forever Homes, where
Yeah.
we did 3.
We did 3.
Yeah.
But the one on Ashby was so incredible. And the reason why I say this is because it was a last minute thing. Brian's at his, he's completely full. He's super busy. And they came to us like, can you guys do this job for us? And it was a massive remodel. We're talking about these old homes that
Yeah.
1956 was construction. It was on concrete battens, meaning that if
Yeah.
you go down in the crawl space, all their main load bearing supports coming down. We're
Yeah.
on these concrete.
Well, if you're in Vegas and you have a crawl space, you know how old that is.
Yeah,
So
that's old because
I mean,
we usually do our concrete foundations.
Yeah, they're usually. So we gutted that place and turned it. I mean, it looks incredible. It's super cool looking and super. I don't know. It's just that was to me such a moment for us because it was like we extended ourselves to the point of death, and I'll never forget like when Brian was doing this stuff because I don't do the work. Brian's the one that does the work. I remember bringing him blankets because he had to sleep at the house sometimes,
Wow.
and I'd come and bring him some food, and like
Yeah,
I just remember being like, these guys
we
are
were
just going
doing-
crazy. So that experience to me, I'll never forget because it made us who we are today, where we learned that you can go fast and still have quality, and that was important.
So let me pass this over a little bit too, because we have clients all the time who come to us, and these clients are saying, "Okay, I want to remodel my house." Now let's assume a cosmetic remodel. Let's assume nothing major, electrical, plumbing, need a new roof, anything like that. Cosmetic remodel. And clients will ask me all the time, in today's market, what kind of budget should I be looking at? And now cosmetic, obviously, you can go with $900 slabs, and you can go with $9,000 slabs, right? Exactly. So big difference. But I generally tell people, depending on how extravagant you're going to get, you're going to be looking at anywhere from $100 a square foot to probably $200 a square foot. Now, we're not talking about like the Summit where people are going to spend $600, $700 a square foot. But would you agree that going on a remodel, because I mean, the paint and carpet, that kind of stuff's cheap. But when you do a kitchen, you can spend $100,000, $200,000 depending on appliances just in a kitchen by itself. Easy.
I mean, that's what we always laugh about, because one of our clients just recently was kind of frustrated because we gave them a price and they're like, well, this kitchen's it's a $60,000 kitchen. It's not very big. I said, but you guys selected Viking appliances.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't do anything, if I put one box in your kitchen, it'd still be like a $30,000 kitchen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day.
Just for the appliances.
Yeah, just for the appliances. So
cabinets.
I said, it is an expensive kitchen because you're going with nice, we have different lines. We have custom lines. We have semi-custom lines. Your custom line is going to be expensive. So, but you're hit on the head. I feel like if it's a full remodel, typically, and it's nice, our brand's still nice, but not crazy.
Yeah.
It's about $100 to $120 a foot.
Yep.
That's right on.
But if you want to go really nice items, you want to go nice slabs, you want to go like a LED underlit onyx bar counter that's in your kitchen, and you want to go.
Yeah. We currently have a job doing right now. Our price point's about $450 a square foot on that house.
Yeah, so that's a high end.
But it's
house.
also, a lot of people don't realize too,
high.
it's square footage too.
Yep.
Because I mean, if you're going to remodel 100 square feet, it's 5,000 a square foot. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that.
Right? Yeah, because a lot of people, and you guys don't know real estate, people they compare price per square foot, and you're like, well, is it a single story? Is it a 2-story? Yeah. And so but to give people an idea of what things cost, and this is one thing that we offer a lot of our realtors out there. So a lot of you guys can do this, but they'll call us and we can give them a ballpark immediately. I say, hey, what's the address?
Yep.
I publish the address. I look at it and I say, and on a home like this, you're looking between $100,000 to $200,000 for remodel.
Yep.
That empowers the realtor to go, hey, client, to make your house look like Kingdom Home stuff, it's going to be about this much. Then they can do some idea of like, okay, this maybe is worth it to do it, or that's going to be a little bit too much.
But we're also able to work with them on their budget. Like you were saying, we do our own cabinets, so we do have like 3 lines.
So you can go line A, B, C,
Yes, we work with them.
And let me go into a little tip that a lot of people don't know, because I've remodeled a lot of houses. We've done a lot of construction, a lot of flips, everything. The one thing people always tell me, well, I want to do this, 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 and this. Once you start, let's just say you're going to do the kitchen and you're going to do the master bath. Once you make those look gorgeous, it's going to make the other baths that maybe you weren't going to do stand out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
So now, even though you weren't intending to do those other baths because they looked nice, they weren't terrible, now you almost have to because they look completely out of place.
Yes.
Right? So then you start adding that, and then you're like, okay, now I've opened up walls and I've knocked down a wall. Well, do I need to put a truss there? Or a beam there? Do I need to add another vent there? Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize flooring was underneath there. I extended my island. I shortened my island. So I always tell people, I know you guys might say something different, but I say for contingency budget, you need 20 to 25% of what you were going to spend. Yeah. Because once you start opening walls, knocking things down, seeing things that are this, that, there's always stuff that comes up. But then there's things that you're going to want to touch that you didn't initially want to touch when you were starting your remodel. So you guys, if your budget starts at 100, go 125.
Julie, you really hit that on the head. People in remodel don't realize unforeseen things, and it happens every job.
Every job.
That's where the HGT is true. There is always those contingency, but
something always comes up, always, and some of it isn't major, but some of it's like, well, now I wasn't going to do the flooring in the living room, but now it doesn't match and as a realtor, you guys, please let me tell you, the one thing I hate the most is when a house has like 20 different floors. Like, I get you maybe want to have a cool little architectural feature in the master bathroom, or you want something cool in the laundry room, but when I walk in and the entry level has one floor, and then the downstairs bath has a different floor, and the kitchen has a different floor, and then upstairs is some carpet, and then in the master bedroom there's different flooring, and there's different flooring in each bathroom, and then the upstairs laundry room is different flooring.
Some people like that.
I hate that. Please don't do that, you guys.
Difference.
Please.
Some people seem to like it.
And hey, you guys, the trends of gray are out. No more gray. Please. Take gray out. Don't put gray on your walls unless it's like agreeable gray. Yeah, it's kind of like a beige tone.
You have to do a style. If you're going to do grays right now, it's got to be
pure
the right
gray.
blonde.
Yeah. Please, no more gray. You guys, no more gray. Okay, so one of the things I talk about right now that I still love is color cabinets. Now, there's the natural tones, but like two-toning your cabinets. I still really like that, but we're seeing a lot of like hunter green come in on maybe the island.
Navy blue.
Or like
right
navy
blue, dark
navy blue. Yep, or like even like a sage green or an olive green.
I feel like greens are the biggest
green, right?
Fad right now. But what's cool about it is I feel like this is something that's interesting. So we just started, one of the things that we were struggling with was design. Because if you have a good design with details, the process goes so much smoother. So finally, we spent a lot of money this year just in reinvesting in our company. We started our own design department.
Love that.
That's been huge for us.
So there's somebody who wants to do either a remodel or a new property.
Yes.
They can come to your design studio.
We're a design build now, like true, meaning we can hold your hand from the beginning to the end.
That's awesome.
We'll take you through. We can do all the permitting, construction drawings, get design done, all the construction.
You guys have an architect that you guys
because the collaboration, yes, because the collaboration from start to finish is so important.
Yeah,
that
it's the most important at the beginning.
I tell everybody it's the most important part. I go, and I was the cheap, a flipper guy. We're the cheapest guys alive, and I had a hard time buying into. What do you mean it's $30,000 for plans? But now, knowing what I know now, if you don't pay for that, you will pay for it later.
Well, what you guys are talking about is the reason why you see a lot of custom homes with no landscaping.
Yes.
Oh, exactly. Right? I'm going through that, but that's because
you get to the end and you didn't plan right. Well, and your $200,000 landscape now is $20,000.
I got a wife that really wanted extravagant finishes, so I blame it on her.
But to go off of what Jillian was asking, I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why I bring this up is there's no rules anymore in design. There are no, like back in the day, it used to be this needs to match this needs to match this. They all need
matchy.
And then you got to go match in this room and this room, and they all got to go together. And now it's like, no, you do whatever you want, but you could do it. You have to do it with style and with flavor. So it's really important that's why I tell everybody design is the most important thing because we've do a lot of things that I don't like, but it still looks really nice.
Yeah.
And you can do so many things now, like where you can do green cabinets here, black cabinets over there, and this and that, and you still make it look very tasteful. Yeah. And that's what's so cool about the Instagram world and the world we live in now is there's so much content and so many ideas that you pull from everywhere that's why that's why we like what we do. It's very addicting.
So addicting.
It's very fun.
Remodel process. I mean, I've remodeled my own kitchen in my house, I've remodeled my house like 5 times. And I've been there like 12 years. So
that's because you like your neighborhood. You won't move out of your neighborhood.
Gosh, you guys, the neighborhood, the people. I mean, that's so important.
I don't know. She's starting to like Summerlin a little bit.
I do like Summerlin, but I like the neighborhood as well. So you guys, okay. So tell me some other things that maybe you find interesting about construction, remodeling, having the client. Have you seen the value be a huge value when clients go? Because I know you guys have done some remodel and then people put their houses on the market. You've seen a huge value when it comes to the resale feature when somebody goes in, and if so, is it the kitchen and bathrooms, or what is it that you guys would tell them to do?
Well, then that's a good. I always tell them to do kitchen and bathroom every time, like master bathroom. Those are the most and flooring. Those are the most important things.
And a little bit of paint.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of paint because that gives them the value, and it depends on the house, right? I mean, obviously, if there's a custom home, you can go all out and make it super nice because people are going to pay for it. If you're in a track home and there's model matches, you can only get away with so much. And so there's ways of doing it where we can guide them. And I'm very passionate about that, is guiding them on budgets of like, hey, don't put too much money. It sounds crazy because I really am like this, but like, don't put too much money into this house because if you do,
overdo it for the area.
You're going to end up taking. So I'll tell them, spend the money in the kitchen, make it nice, but don't go crazy if you're in a track home. But if you're in a custom home or a semi-custom home, you can go crazy.
You can go to the
and they'll pay for it.
And you can go crazy in a track home too, as long as you buy it correctly, right?
Yes, and that's a good point.
It just depends on where you're at with the price.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you guide them that way.
We do because that's the way my brain thinks. Like for me, value is so important, and I don't like being like sometimes they don't trust me. Sometimes because I tell them like, hey, listen, like if you guys do this, and this, you'll get more value. And they're like, well, why would you tell me
that's not what we want to do?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just trying to guide you because I have that mentality of like established value, always ingrained in
what's going to work on resale.
Yes,
that's
because
a lot of these people are in track homes. That's not their forever home.
Exactly.
Some of them are, but for some of them, it's not.
Correct.
So yeah.
Okay, so Daryl, so let's talk a little bit more about the market trends, and then we're going to talk a little bit where we think market is going. Yep. So I know for me, you guys, again, I talked about colored cabinets. I actually have a home office where my uppers are white and my lowers are like a very pretty like pink pastel kind of pink. Yeah. Everybody loves it. I have the marble countertops on the side, so it's the whites. It's really trendy. Everybody loves it. What other kind of colors or trends? We talked about flooring. Is it still that like white oak or white maple?
Oak is very
like a blonde.
We're getting a lot
blonde.
of dark walnuts now.
Dark walnuts are very popular right now as well.
Very, very popular. Two-tone islands, a wood island with a white perimeter cabinetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about
all colors? Honestly, we are getting every color you can think of.
That is so popular.
Black is still very popular. Green is huge. Even we get some blue still in there every now and then.
A lot of natural wood accents.
Yeah.
Natural wood's huge.
I like the dark navy with the gold.
Yeah,
trim.
That's huge
so
right now. One of my bathrooms, I love it.
Mark Hutchinson's house, the former lieutenant governor of Las Vegas, they did lower their bottom cabinets are like a robin's egg blue, almost like the color of your shirt, Lincoln. Okay. It looks so pretty.
That's
it's
awesome.
all white around. They did 2 huge islands.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah, I'm
sounds
really,
amazing.
really into the blue for sure. Now, Daryl, what do you think is happening in the Las Vegas real estate market? Give us your crystal ball. I know that you know what's happening.
I know what it is.
What
This
is
is my opinion.
Okay, go. Here you guys. Drop the mic. We're going to get some knowledge here.
Buyers are scared out of their mind because they have PSTT for 2008. So they feel like if they buy now, their house is going to be worth half as much tomorrow, which we know that's probably not going to happen.
Not the case, you guys. Boom, boom, boom.
But we need to allow enough time to go by for the data to prove that to buyers. And I think that once buyers see that the market's not dropping like they think it's going to, that they'll get back to buying. I mean, it's just the higher rates are going to become the new norm. Never feels good to think to yourself, God,
I
2
missed
months
the
ago,
boat. Yeah,
I
like
get
the-
3%. Now it's 6%. That's
Right.
double. I'm not
But
buying.
actually,
I'm going to wait.
now today we're actually right in the low fives. So you guys, it is still a good time to buy. We're in the low fives. We have clients locking in right now at 5.125.
Supposed to go up here
you
really
guys,
soon.
It is supposed to go up. So if you're on the fence, do it. Now let me ask you this, because we're going to kick this back over to Kingdom here in a second. Here, if I were a buyer and I have a home already, but I want it modernized, I want a more open floor plan, whatever it is. And is it worth me to put 150 to 200,000 to my home, assuming it's a 3,000 plus square foot house? Obviously, if it's 1,100 square foot house, you're not going to put that in. But so is it worth it for me to put 150, 200,000 to my home, or is it worth it for me to take that money, cash out, sell my home, and buy a new home? Daryl, what would you do? Not brand new, but like a different home.
Well, I think that depends on where the house is at.
If it's in my neighborhood, you would
location.
not be selling, because you guys, I live in the best neighborhood in the entire planet. If you want to buy a house, there's like one for sale in my neighborhood. The people are amazing. But yes, Daryl.
I think, as just a broad answer to that, again, it depends on the house. It depends on what your future goals are. It depends on, what you're looking for the future. But I think Vegas is a safe bet. I think as long as you are, like we just talked about, overdoing it for the neighborhood, as long as you're not doing that.
Well, and if you're overdoing it, but it's a neighborhood you're going to be in, it's going to solid values. Like in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I think it's safe to put the money into the house.
Like
for
if
the
you buy in
future.
Eagle Hills today, because Eagle Hills, all custom homes, but some of them were built in the late 90s.
Tree-lined streets,
Gorgeous
one of my favorite
community.
neighborhoods.
But if you buy a
Ton of
house,
remodels in there.
We do a lot of
yeah,
remodels.
if you
love
could
that
buy a house in there for 1.2, 1.5, and you even put $1 million into remodeling it, you're in it for, let's call it 2.5. Those houses are still selling the remodeled ones, 2.5 to 3 million.
And that's
so
what I'm
you're
talking
good.
about.
Yeah.
Those neighborhoods, all day long, you put 100.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do an
in
$800,000 remodel in there next week.
Vintage Vegas in the historic district. I mean, you buy these houses
Absolutely.
that are 56 years old,
Section
but you could put $1 million
10,
into
Section
them.
10 Scotch 80s is
Scotch
nice.
80s,
yeah.
Rancho Circle, Rancho Bel Air, any of those places, you can easily. I mean, I don't even have to look at the house. You can put 100, 200,000 into it. You're fine.
Yeah.
So you know what I just heard about that, though? What I just heard, because I'm reading between the lines, because I'm really good at that, is I heard that if you use the right realtor who knows the right community, and you know where you, he said, Daryl Hannah, it's Jillian Batchelor. Okay. And you guys, and they know the community. They know where they want to buy. They know values are going to be safe for you. It's going to be a good family atmosphere, or it's going to be close to your work or close to shopping or whatever it is, the hospitals, whatever it is you're looking for. And you plan on being there. I would say if you're going to put in 6 figures into remodel, unless it's a flip and you're buying it really, really good, plan on being in the house 2 to 3 years. I mean, don't try to put 100,000 into it or 200,000 into it unless you're trying to flip it and you're going to live there with your family for a year and hope to get your money out. You may not.
And in a normal
right?
market, that just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
In the market that we just
5
went through the last
years.
couple of years, you could get away with that. But
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
Jillian, this goes back to Jillian not that long ago. She sent us a client that she found a really good home for them. They had a good budget, but their floor plan was terrible. And she just knew right away, I'm going to get Kingdom on this one. We went out there and we knocked down a few walls, and it opened up to the entire city.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And so if you have a good realtor who can see
The vision.
those type of things,
So let's talk
now his
about-
house is going to be worth way more.
Let's
than what
talk
it
about
was.
that house really quick a little bit. And granted, he bought it good. Bought that house for
Yeah,
about
he did.
$850-ish. We'll talk about. All in all, when we were all said and done, we put about 300 and change into the remodel. So let's call it 850. Let's say we put in 350. Okay, so you're in it for 1.2. Okay, at 1.2 million. A house next door, literally next door, the house that touches the same lot, so they basically have the same view, is selling for $1.8 million right now, and it is not remodeled. That makes sense. That means his house is worth at least $2 million. We're in it for $1.2 million. Yes, we did an expensive budget. When you hear somebody spends $300,000 or $350,000 remodeling a home, it sounds like a lot of money, but
it's a
not
new home.
when you're in. It's totally brand new.
and that's what people in Vegas are
gorgeous.
willing to pay for.
Yeah.
They're willing to pay for a turnkey, walk-in, bad.
Yes.
I
That's what I was going to say. Going to your question, Jillian, you were asking. The answer is our experience has always been, and we focus on everything. Like we just had we did a high-end flip in the Ridges. You went to it, the one on the Granite Ridge.
Yeah.
And we got it for I think $800,000. We put $200 into it. And it sold for I think
that sounds amazing.
1.4 whatever. And not here to brag, because I mean obviously those are the good ones.
Yeah.
You have good and bad ones. But the reason why we played it that way is we're like, let's go all in. Let's do a Kingdom home remodel and make it super nice. And when we
Document the whole thing.
When we did that, it felt good because it was like The client loved it, fell in love with it right away, bought it. And it was just amazing.
It was our first true high-end flip too.
Yeah. It was
Where was that? I mean, what area?
It was in the Ridges, yeah.
In the Ridges.
Yeah.
So Daryl, you know what I just heard? They said they made about $400,000 on that flip. Let's call it after fees and everything, $300,000. I feel like they could pay for dinner tonight. They could take us out to. I feel like a steakhouse is in order. Because how do we capitalize?
So let me ask you a question too.
I came off bragging. I'm sorry.
So there's high end flipping.
Yes.
And then there's lower end flipping.
Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
It depends on the spreads.
He's looking at the profit margin, you guys.
But you know what? Sometimes the bigger spreads are on the lower end ones, right?
Yeah, can I be honest with you though?
Yeah, please.
The one that we just did on Grand Ridge was so satisfying because it was more than money, right?
Yeah.
Usually flips are
It
all
just
about the
looked
money.
beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
And it just
It's
felt
the
like
business.
when you see the before and afters, and we post all the time, but it's just like it's so gratifying to see that we transform this environment into something just beautiful. So I would say the high end one was more satisfying.
Yeah.
But obviously these lower end ones, when you go buy a house and put 15, 20 grand into it and make 15 or 30, that feels good real quick. If you did it in 90
the percentages
days.
are big in some
And
of
our
those smaller ones.
Yeah.
And like current climate of the market right now, I feel high-end flipping is
Safer.
safer.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's because people in a downturn, there's still people with money.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, they're gonna pay for beauty and value. And we've just seen that day in, day out. Like even when we were flipping in the old days, like people are looking on the market, they look at the 10 homes and they'll look at the best one, and they always want to buy a fixer upper, and then they see the point it's turnkey and they're like, nope, let's just spend an extra 10 grand and buy that one. So it's the same way at the high end too. Like people see a turnkey, beautiful home where they don't have to buy a problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the value
in a great area.
Yeah.
Well, and let's touch on one of the things that Lincoln just said, because Daryl, I know you know the answer to this question. Those that invest in real estate, stocks, tech, crypto, when are millionaires made?
At the purchase.
But they're made during
when
the
they
down
buy.
markets.
Or
When
in the
you're-
down market.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you're in the
When
bear
people are
market,
scared.
that's where you're going to make your money, you guys. So now the market, and we're not in a bear market yet, don't get me wrong. But if they say we're in a recession, things are starting to turn a little bit. Millionaires are made when others are afraid to do that risk. So this is when, if you're looking to buy right now, you're looking to buy crypto, you're looking to buy stocks, you're looking to buy real estate, you're looking to flip. This is when millionaires are made. I had a guy that came to me, speaking of just the downturn of the market, 2011, 2012. He had $1 million in his retirement account, 401k. He said, Jillian, I'm going to take all of it out. He was old enough to take out all the money. And he said, now this is when houses were $120,000. Do you remember the standard cookie cutter
So it's like
track
2009.
homes?
Yeah.
10, 11, right? He buys 10 houses from me, spends a little over $1 million because he took everything out of his 401k, and then he had some cash on hand. And those houses 3 years later, now he bought 10 of them, were worth $4.4 million. So he 4x'd his money in 4 years while renting them out, because they owned them outright.
And a lot of people talk about how they should have. I even say it. Back then, I should have bought 10 condos
Should've
back
bought 10
then
of
that
them.
were
Yeah.
50 grand. Now they're 300 grand. But you know what? I think back, like we were scared.
It was
then.
scary.
I thought the world. I
Well,
seriously
that was
thought
the
maybe
largest.
the world was going to come
that
back.
was the largest financial crash in the history of the United States.
I was
other
stocking
than the
water
Great
up at our
Depression.
cabin in Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Well, I remember houses were going in North Las Vegas by the pig farm up there.
Yeah.
Like brand new homes.
Yeah,
Were
like
going for
30.
like $45 a
Yeah, I was
square
going to say,
foot.
like some were like
35
30.
bucks a
insane.
square
You
foot.
can't even build a house for that much.
Oh my gosh.
can't buy the material for that.
Crazy. So tell us anything else exciting really quick. Let's go a little personal on this for a second, because I want people to know you guys more than just these construction awesome real estate guys. Lincoln, tell me about your wife. How many kids do you have? How long have you been
So
married?
I have a beautiful wife named Cecilia, and I've been married for almost 15 years this November.
And 4 kids?
I have 4 daughters.
All daughters. Are you guys going to go for a fifth? Are we going
girls.
to? Are we going to see a son?
For a guy or what?
It's not happening.
No boys?
We're done at 4 kids.
Listen, I'm not a quitter, but I can't.
Yeah.
What you can't do is you can't create boys. That's what
I've accepted that God knows me well enough to know that, hey, Lincoln, you need good daughters to balance you out. So I'm great.
So what are the ages of your daughters?
So Lilia's 10 or 11. Scarlett's 10. We had them 18 months apart, which is pretty close. And then we have Violet. She's 6, and then Hazel's 3.
So Brian, tell me your wife. How long have you been married?
We've been married. It'll be 19 years next week.
And it's funny,
Nice.
you're only 19 years old,
Congratulations.
so that's weird. Okay, keep going.
Right?
And how many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids. My oldest daughter just graduated high school. She'll be attending UNLV upcoming.
Love it.
And I have a son. He's 15, and my youngest is 10.
I love it. So any more kids from you?
What's that?
Any more kids? You can.
No, we're done.
Not that
You're
he knows
done. All right.
You know, you say UNLV too. It's crazy how great UNLV is.
Yeah,
now,
let's
right?
talk about that for a second, you guys. So I have been basically Las Vegas native. I've been here since I was 6 years old. You're a Las Vegas native. I know you guys have been here. So, and I guess people always do this. You always take for what you have in your backyard for granted. So I'm like, UNLV, yeah, it's cool. It's not like a title
UNLV has always
school,
been
whatever.
kind of a so-so.
Well, at least that's how you think. We went
yeah.
and we took a tour of the UNLV Innovation Center, and we found out so many cutting edge things that they're doing, and how people are like dying to get into UNLV.
A guy that I graduated
Boyd
with,
Law
Bo
School
Bernhardt, is the president
of UNLV Innovation Center.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's insane.
I mean, literally, the
colleges now.
So they be the Pac-12 then, is what you're saying.
Oh my gosh! So the people that are coming there to get their doctorates, the people that are coming there to go for law school, I mean, they have the top of the line.
Are there now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really.
I mean,
cool what
it's
they've
impressive, you guys. So look into UNLV a little bit more.
Yeah.
See, okay, last little bit before we close this up. Lincoln, tell me what you like to do for your fun time. Do you have any free time other than play with those beautiful daughters of yours? What do you like to do?
I like to eat. One of my favorite things to do.
Okay.
And I still play basketball. Okay. Even though my body's shutting down, I'm still playing.
Your body's shutting down. Looks like you're pretty fit to me, but hey, I don't want to go there. I don't want your wife to come after me.
Power forward.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, what do you like to do for fun?
I like to play in the dirt, I guess. I have a side-by-side. I go out all the time riding. My son's got a dirt bike, and the girls like it too. So
that's
we have
awesome.
a lot of fun. We got a nice toy hauler, and we go out just.
And isn't that the best? I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, everything that we do, the money we make, why we go to work, why we sacrifice our time, because time is a great equalizer, right? We all only have 24 hours in the day. Yep. Why we sacrifice our time is what? It's for our family. It's for our family time, for our recreational time. And you guys, look, family is everything. Everybody out there, I don't care if you have a dog, that could be your family. I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your partner. I don't care if it's your parents, your friends. Got some of my best friends that, I love spending time with, but of course I have 3 kids as well. But we do what we do for our family time. Is that not
absolutely
correct, Daryl Hannah?
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah is one of the best family men I've ever met out there, you guys.
He's the best father. Playing hockey.
Best father, loves his kid. His son's in hockey.
On Facebook, and I see all the posts, and I'm like, man, he's a good dad.
Oh no, Daryl is one of the best dads out there I know. All hail to the king. So we'll make sure that everyone knows that he's a great father, great, amazing.
Thank you.
And so, Daryl, give us one little tip, trick, anything you want our viewers to know and listeners to know before we end our podcast today. What should you tell them?
I would just say before you purchase anything, it's how important it is to have a good realtor, a good
construction company,
contractor, a good
design.
The people you surround yourself with, whether you need good mentors, right? And you need good people around you in business. So
put your team in place.
Yeah, take the time to get the right team around you.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong.
Okay, Lincoln, last thing that you want our viewers or our listeners to hear from you. Give us it could be a life tip. It doesn't even have to be about work. What should you tell us? What is something you want to stick with us?
I'll echo that. I would think that being younger, I remember just always thinking there's a better way. And I always thought I could beat this system. And it's probably who I am, the reason why I am today. But my advice would be is exactly find the right people, because the right contractor, the right realtor, the right people will get you lined up with what you need to know and how you can accomplish things. Quit trying to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
Quit trying to be everything, because if you do that, you spread yourself out thin and you end up just sucking. So my advice would be is, yes, build a solid quality team and don't DIY everything.
And know your numbers before you go in. Brian, give us a little bit of wisdom. Drop something on us.
Okay. When I started this venture, starting a construction company, I'll be honest, I hated what I was doing for a living.
When you were with the art, when you were doing the
don't get me wrong, great people there. I love them. A lot of great mentors and mentors there. But I'll be honest, it was not what I saw for my future. I just want to basically emphasize you got to love what you do. Wake up every day. I love it. I have a great attitude. I love going to work. I love the team I have around me and what we accomplish each day. And then also it's about relationships. This town's small, even though it's growing so big. Don't burn bridges.
Oh, for sure.
I love that you say it's about relationships, because for those of you who don't know, I actually went to high school with Lincoln's older brother, and I've then known you guys. I know you guys through church, lots of family friends. We've done a lot of business together. I've loved what you guys have done. You guys have done, like I said, remodels in my own properties, my own personal properties. But it's about the relationships, right? It's about who you know. Who do you know that you can go to, that you can trust? I have clients who want to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can reach out to you guys. But I want to leave you guys a little bit of tidbit from Jillian Batchelor as first. And this is why I love these guys. Is why I asked them to be on the show. I know that they live the same way that I want to live, which is God first. Your family is a very close second, and then business and relationships come after that. Because if that is lined up in that order, I believe everything else will fall in line.
For sure. So I used to own one of the largest masonry companies here in town before I was a realtor.
So you're a real man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a man if you can do masonry work.
And the reason I say that is because what you just said, my partner in that business, Tim Shank, still my best friend today.
Wait, I thought I was your best friend.
You are my best friend.
Okay.
Back
love
then.
You. Love you. Okay, good.
We'll go. But, I remember back in those days in contracting, I felt like I was so happy and I loved it. And I love being a realtor.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, I go to work every day and play around with my best friend.
Yeah.
Like we joke on the radio, on the site, we're playing around.
You still do that today.
Yeah, we're playing jokes. It's
Yeah,
like it's fun. Like you never work a day in your life if you're having fun, right?
Exactly.
So just like what you just said, it's so true.
Well, we just want to thank Kingdom Home Remodel for being on our show today.
In.
Love these guys again. This is Lincoln Rogers and Brian Horner, and we're going to put their contact information in our Vegas Real Talk podcast. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys need anything, reach out to them. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they will share it with you guys because, hey, they're just good people. Again, my business partner, the illustrious
Daryl Hanna.
And he's so good looking. He always dresses up for us, you guys, in a suit every day. Love this guy. Thank you guys for coming around. Again, Vegas Real Talk. We'll see you guys next week.